Zilpah the maid for an handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said unto Laban, What is this thou hast done to me? Did I not serve thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?
See, what they always say, the sun gonna come out tomorrow. The light's gonna eventually shine on it. And so that night, it was all good. But the next day, when the sun rose and everybody could see what was going on, now the jig is up. And many of you have done situations, you put yourself in places and circumstances when for the moment it seemed like it was really great. You was in the club and you was in there with that guy, he was buying bottles and popping bottles, and you was going to places you never thought you would go and wearing clothes you never thought you would wear, had purses and stuff you never thought you would ever be able to get. But then he had to go back to his wife. And it was all over. It's going to come out eventually. The sun's going to shine in eventually. Give him verse 26 and 27.
And Laban said, It must not be done so in our country to give the younger before the firstborn.
It's always a hustle, ain't it?
Fulfill her week, and we will give thee also for the service which thou served with me yet another 7 years.
Now, my next point for you is, why pretend when you can have the real thing? Why pretend when you can have the real thing? It's so many of our ladies are going out of their way to make it seem like you're happy versus seeking the Most High so you can actually be happy. So many of our women are going out of their way to create this social media mirage so that it will look great to everybody that rolls down. It will look great, you know, to everybody who sees the pics and see you happy and see all the flexing and all that. But what does it matter after all that if you're crying yourself to sleep at night? What does it matter that when everything is over, when all the crowd goes away, when the guy goes back home, when the money runs out, when the clothes are not in style no more, when the new purse comes out, and it's all over? What does it really mean then? Now, in that verse 27, when it says fulfill her week, what that meant was during the time in their culture, when there was a marriage, the woman was celebrated for a week. They would go to all the different villages around, all the different family members that were scattered around their area, and they would go to each town, each village, and she would get celebrated, give gifts upon gifts upon gifts, and everybody would celebrate it. It's kind of like in our days how we do things with the wedding and the reception, but imagine the reception going on for 7 days. When people for 7 days just bringing their gifts, she's just going to town, being celebrated. So Laban said, look, just fulfill her a week. Give her that week, and then I'll give you Rachel. So let's just look at it from this perspective. You go in with this guy, you know this guy is not going to be with you, you know this guy doesn't want you. And so Sunday is a great day. Monday, Tuesday, it's wonderful. You get a bunch of gifts. Wednesday, Thursday, you're going to Paris, and you're going to London, and you're going to San Francisco. You're traveling all over the world. Friday, Saturday, it's wonderful. Great gifts, eating great food, riding on private jets. And then Sunday comes back around. And that same guy who did all that goes home to his wife. Why would you choose to pretend when the Most High wants to give you the real thing? See, after that week was over with, after the celebration, after the faking the funk, and after all that, he went on to Rachel. So my question to you today is it really worth it? You're making a compromise this weekend so that you can celebrate Mother's Day. Is it really worth it? This is what I want you to see. This is what I want you to understand. That ultimately, that Leah is continuously finding herself being hurt over and over again by everybody else with side interests. Her sister has side interests, her dad has side interests, and Jacob has side interests. And she's in the middle. And she's being taken advantage of everybody else for everything she always wanted. Ladies, anytime you're following the voice of the wrong man, you will end up in the wrong place. I'll say that again. Anytime you're following the voice of the wrong man, you will end up in the wrong place. It's just inevitable. Today's lesson. You may have been overlooked by the world, but not by the Most High. Look at verse 31. Read verse 31 for me.
Skip further.
I know.
Okay. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren.
Now see, the Most High saw. He saw how they was treating her. He saw how they was doing her. He saw how they were conspiring and only looking out for their own interests. So read it for him again.
When the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren.
He opened her womb. And the one that was getting celebrated, she was barren from getting the blessing of the Most High. So those girls that's out there doing all those things, it seems like they're getting everything and you're not. They're getting the men and you're not. They're getting the money and you're not. They're getting the cars and you're not. They're getting a good house and you're not. Most High ain't giving that to them. And if you get your eyes off of them and put it back on the Most High, the things that He has for you, you will receive. What does the song say? What God has for me is for me. Jacob wasn't for her. Rachel's stuff wasn't for her. The things that Laban tried to do, none of that stuff was hers. The Most High had something for her. So Rachel got shut up. She was barren. But He opened up the womb of Leah. The Most High love will take care of it all. But you got to put your focus on the Most High and not what everybody else is doing to you. You got to say, you know what? Yeah, they might have did this to me. They might have treated me this way. They might have threw me to the side. I may not have been their choice. I may not have been picked. They didn't want me. They didn't care about me. But that's not what the Most High said. And that's what I want you to stay focused on. See, it's easy for us to get caught up in the things that we believe we lost when we are not aware of the many things that the Most High for us and Most High has in our future for us to gain. So you think you lost this, but really the truth of the matter was it never was yours in the first place. You think that man got took from you when it was never your man in the first place. You think that job that the little girl who wears the tight skirts got was yours. No, it was never yours in the first place. He has a personal business that He wants you to start. That's what He has for you. So you got to get off of what it looks like. That's why He tells us in 2 Corinthians 5 and 7 to walk by faith and not by sight. Romans 1 and 16, Romans 1 and 17 says that the just shall live by faith. Romans 8 and 28 lets us know that all things come together for them who love God and are called according to their purpose. Today's lesson is, ladies, you may have been overlooked by the world, but not by the Most High. Last point, verse 32.
And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, surely the Lord has looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me.
Verse 33.
And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because the Lord hath heard that I was hated, He had therefore given me this son also. And she called him Simeon. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, now this time my husband be joined unto me, because I have bore him 3 sons, therefore his name will be Levi.
All right, now stop right there. Now, this may not be for every, what I'm about to say right here may not be for every lady that's watching me right now. This may not be for you. You may not have had to hit rock bottom. But for the ladies that have hit rock bottom, I want this is specifically, I'm talking to you right now. We feel like you have tried everything. You've done everything you need to do. This is what I need you to hear me right now. When the Most High, when for us who ever have hit rock bottom, I'm talking about you're done. When the Most High rescues us, because we suffered so long, because we experienced so much disappointment, we tend to get caught up in exploiting our blessing to gain the love and the recognition from people who withheld it before. So it's kind of like that guy who didn't want you, who left you for some other girl. Then you mess around and lose a bunch of weight. And so now you're using this blessing of health and a new life that the Most High is giving to you, and you're using it, you're exploiting it to get all these other men to adore you just to be paying back somebody else to make them jealous. Well, you used to not be that person who was putting your body all out there and taking backshot pictures and posting pictures of yourself constantly. But because some guy hurt your feelings, now you're doing it. And now you're using this other attention basically to try to get attention from the one person who withheld it. There was a person that you went to and you asked for help when you was trying to start your business, and they didn't help you out. So now the Most High done raised you up. Now you got this prosperous business, and now you're going out and buying cars and houses and jewelry and purses. Not so much that you want it, but because you're trying to show the people who wasn't there for you what the Most High is doing. So you're exploiting your blessing to get something that you felt like you should have had in the first place. And so the Most High saw, go back up there and read verse 31.
And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren.
You see, when the Most High saw that she wasn't getting the love that she deserved, he blessed her and opened up her womb. It was the Most High who did that. But instead of her looking at it as a blessing for the Most High, she used it as now a weapon, as a tool to get the love from Jacob, which it was never about. That should have been about that in the first place. Jacob was the one that wasn't loving her, but yet now she turned, and you try to use the blessing that the Most High gave her to get something from a guy that she shouldn't even been focusing about no more. It shouldn't even have been about that anymore. It should have been about the children that the Most High was blessing her with. So, my last point for you today is, don't wait too late to give the Most High your praise. Don't wait too late to give the Most High your praise. You need to stop looking for happiness in the place where you lost it. Don't go back to old relationships when the Most High raised you up. Stop going back into the communities and going to these places just so people can see what the Most High has done for you. When truth for the matter is, the Most High got time. He got a new place, a new area, a new neighborhood, a new city, a new adventure for you. Philippians 3:13 says that we must forget those things that are behind us. And we got to press toward to the high calling, the mark that's in Christ Jesus. And what's the problem is that the blessing that the Most High have for many of us, especially for our women, you're so focused on everybody seeing you that didn't do anything for you that you're missing out on the people that the Most High has for you. You're so focused on this guy who didn't love you that you're missing out on the king that's there to love you. You're so focused on this job that you didn't get that you're not even focusing on what he has down the road for you. Now, this is what I need you to see. Read 35 for them.
And she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, now I will praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah and left barren.
Now, he who has the ear, let him hear what thus says the Lord. I'm stop.